Hello there, wherever you are, whenever you are, whoever you are. Welcome to the Pun Show. It's Adderson here from the Pod of Many Things, introducing OUT ADDSAULT, my every now and then rant cafe where I get to go on about something that I've seen or heard and talk about it and talk about what I think, maybe critique, maybe discuss. But just a quick disclaimer beforehand, the Pod of Many Things is usually a chilled out roundtable podcast. However, this is my little corner of the channel where I get to get on my soapbox and play up for some comedy and character and exaggerate some things, say some stuff. It is in no way reflective of the Pod of Many Things. This is all my personal opinion, and it's not meant to be a personal attack. If you think that I've crossed the line, please tell me in the comments below and we'll discuss it, and hopefully I'll grow and take responsibility, which is something that I think we all need to do, and actually is a great segue to my topic today, which is I'm not used to this, clickbait, the bane of journalistic integrity. So I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, my friend Ben on the Flickering Torch, great YouTube channel and a great stream, by the way, so if you haven't, I would definitely recommend subscribing and following on both those, Twitch and YouTube. But anyway, he retweeted something from quite a notable tabletop RPG source that went along the lines of Session Zero is a scam. And I looked at it and I was like, that Kronk meme, like, this is bait. This is bait for Anon. This is Anon's bait. And I'm like, they're like, okay, let me have a look at it. And actually, I clicked on it thinking, it's obviously bait. It's obviously a clickbaity title. And then I read it, and actually the article, although not fully fleshed out, was really good. It talked about some things that needed to be said about Session Zero in general, and we've talked about it before on the podcast, that we should get people rolling as soon as possible when we do a tabletop role-playing game. We shouldn't have to sit there and write notes or anything like that and basically do a class about Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, whatever, before actually playing the game. We should get people rolling as soon as possible. Great point. Thank you very much. However, I'm still waiting for the fact that Session Zero is a scam, lad. So I'll keep going. Right? You've said that you then go on about safety tips and safety checks, and I think that's a massive point. However, I think that in your hatred of Session Zero, you forgot that one of the big key safety tools that we have is Session Zero, like getting people around a table, getting people in at the moment with COVID and everything around in a Discord server or a Zoom call, and making sure that everybody feels safe with each other. You can't sit there and do a D&D game and not feel okay with everybody around you, and especially if you're doing it with people that you don't know. If you do it with people you don't know, and then somebody gets on a Skype call and you get straight into play and he does some fricked up, you're going to be like, oh, what? So that is a big safety aspect tool. And yes, it shouldn't be the only safety aspect tool you have in your trunk. You should be doing regular check-ins, allowing for black cards, X cards, or cuts. You should be talking to your players outside of the game, not just in-game or about the game, because you'll find out lots of things about them, and you'll find out, oh, actually, I don't think they're 100% comfortable with this person, maybe I should talk to them about what they're doing. That is a massive thing about Session Zero, okay? But don't just use Session Zero and then not address it ever again. Safety is a massive concern. You're getting people together to be vulnerable, to act, to play a game, to feel a bit stupid. Yeah, putting on a goblin voice is all well and great for a DM, but actually your players need to feel safe and secure with you in order to try new things, okay? If you don't do that, you suck. Sorry, deal with it. Sucks to suck. But what really got me about this article is that I'm still waiting for this Session Zero is a scam, because he's not telling me that Session Zero is a scam. What he's telling me is that people are using it wrong. And the headline should be, you're doing Session Zero wrong. Still clickbaity, still a bit antagonistic, but you know what? Actually registers to what you're talking about, funnily enough. Not just something that you've put on there thinking, oh, that'll get the clicks, and then your article has very little to do with it. That is journalism 101. If you're going to present yourself as a journalist, if you're going to do something, you got to think about this, lad. Think about this. You need to make sure your headline reflects what is in your article. If it doesn't reflect what's in your article, it's a bad headline. Like, bad, no, naughty, deal with yourself, okay? And then you need to change that. And you did. I appreciate that. The person did. They sat there, made this massive disclaimer about, oh, well, it was a shot across the bow of grognards. Shut up! Like, you're not this white knight saving everybody from these people who are law dumping, right? You got it wrong. You know? You got it wrong. You could have said you're using Session Zero wrong. Because, yes, using Session Zero to law dump on everybody and be there like, oh, my word is like this, and rah, 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 and this is my novel idea, is stupid. It's so dumb. You're so close to being correct. And then, for some reason, you're like, they're like, it's so annoying because of the fact that it's just showing that you're buying into the hype, when actually, with tabletop RPGs, you have a captive audience. You have an audience that want to read everything that they can about D&D, about new things, about player hints and GM tips. Don't then result to clickbait, and then, when it goes wrong, tell everybody, oh, well, you're missing out on context. Oh, I've changed it. No, you got it wrong in the first place. And no, of course we're missing context, dude. You didn't put it in. Like that's on you. Like, clickbait is the death of journalistic integrity. We will put anything as a headline, hoping it gets the hate click, hoping that it does what it needs to do, and then hoping that we get those numbers up, instead of actually reflecting what we're reporting on. And considering that, like, I have to teach kids this on, like, a very basic level, my first thing I teach them is, use your headline correctly, okay? Don't clickbait it, make sure it summarises what you're doing, right? I wanted to be a journalist for a long time. Journalism 101. Have integrity. This guy literally turned around and was like, oh, well, everybody's attacking me now. Yes, because you made a mistake. And you know what? I wouldn't have been that bothered if you'd have just went, you know what, I messed up. I should have said something like, again, Session Zero is being used wrong. Or you're doing Session Zero wrong. Because yes, that is wrong. If you're sat there telling me that you're just putting safety tools in for Session Zero and not anything else, you're not rolling any dice, or you're sat there explaining for 3 hours your world and stuff like that, you are using it wrong. It was so close to the mark, but the title sucked, and then it, like, destroyed the rest of your article, and some of the points weren't well thought out. Like, you've got to think about it, okay? Like, if you're going to sit there and criticise everybody who does a Session Zero, at least give them some sort of, like, alternative or constructive criticism, rather than saying it's a scam, which puts those people on edge because of the fact that you're saying that they're cheating people and defrauding people. So let's say you're using Session Zero wrong. Like, there is tons and tons of YouTube content that does that sort of thing, and it sounds, whilst it sounds a bit antagonistic, it also says, oh, there's some hints and tips here for you, right? Don't sit there and then be like, oh, grognard's this, grognard's that, and then when everybody comes for you, be like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. You know what the age of clickbait's about. I'm sorry, lads and lasses, but that's how it is, right? We are adults, hopefully, and if we're not, don't be on the internet posting yourself about. But we are adults. We need to take responsibility for what we're doing. So we've talked about this before on the pod of many things, about the fact that session 0 is not very conducive. We shouldn't be learning mechanics in session 0. So we called it session 0.5. And what that meant was that we created characters, tried to get that done as quickly as possible, established a relationship between those characters, and then kind of did something like a little introduction or interlude, usually some sort of combat, to help people, almost like tutorial level, their way into those characters. Because then what that does for us is it actually has a massive impact on how those players play, and they might go, oh, this isn't for me after that introduction session, and you know what, that's completely fine. I'm not going to be mad if you turn around and go, you know what, this isn't for me, Adderson, I'm sorry, but I don't feel it, I'm not feeling it, can we do something else? That's perfectly fine. However, if you're telling me that I'm sat there lore dumping on you, I'll also go, oh yeah, that's that, I wouldn't like that. Like, treat your session 0s how you'd like to play them if you're a DM. So I firmly recommend the session 0.5, the making characters, getting them together, and then playing out a combat, seeing how they all play together, seeing it, because then we can do some edits. If they're like, oh, we don't have enough healing, somebody can change their character, and we just timey-wimey stuff. It's not a big deal. But when you turn around and start pointing fingers at everybody because you didn't get your point across correctly, and you're there like, oh, I clickbaited something, but you don't have context, of course people aren't going to read the whole thing if they don't agree with the title, because they assume that the title is an honest reflection of what is in the article. I don't know what more you want from me. Like, if you want to talk about it, if you've got something to say about it, put it in the comments below. I'm willing to have a chat. I'm willing to do mediation, I guess, and talk about and give hints. But don't sit there slating people, and then when people who you slated turn around and go, you know what, actually, I don't like that. I don't like what you said. You go, oh, well, you're misinterpreting what I said. No, have integrity. Don't be that guy who's turning around and being like, it's everybody else's fault. Go, actually, that's not what I meant. I should have had a better title. And then when you do your edit, maybe don't go, it's a shot across the bow of grog nerds, because you don't sound sincere. You're making it sound as if, oh, because you lot took it the wrong way, I had to change the title. How about being a better journalist, mate? And that's it. That's the first All Out Addsult. I hope that you liked it. I hope you liked the pun show. I hope you liked the fact that I got into it and I listened to it. I said what I've got to say. And then I'm out. If you want to talk about it, comment down below. But I'm not going to sit here and be angry. Like, it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of thing. I'm not actually angry. I'm just like, you know what? This is something I don't like. And it needs to change. So I hope that you're having a good time. I hope that you enjoyed this. Give a like. Leave a comment. And yeah. I hope that you're doing well, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, and